The masses gather here to speak their piece. Some fall to the wolves. Others struggle and rise above them all. Enter into the sinister mind of our host. Dive deeper than any mortal has gone before. BODS Mayhem Hour is upon us. This is the speaker of Snake Healer Coven, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Hour, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome the speaker who represents the Coven, Snake Healer from Miami, Florida, based doom metal act, have released their debut EP entitled Oblatio. Also, check out single In His Name. And I'm telling you right now, folks, this is out. I got to listen to this from track to track to track, every bit of this album. I'm telling you right now, it's very, very good. And just like we were talking a little bit before this interview, this is a great, great album. And I love exactly what they have brought to this table with this album EP. So the speaker, welcome to the podcast and glad to have you on here, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Bod. It is my pleasure.
How did Snake Healer come about? Let's talk about this a little bit. How did this Dark Lord come about for this project?
Very good question. Well, this has been around since the beginning of mankind. During the Garden of Eden, everything was perfect. There was no pain. There was no suffering. It was a little playground of make pretend and fantasy. The serpent Lord came and told us, this is all a lie. This is not life. You are merely an obedient sheep. You have free will. They bit the apple, and here we are, free to make our own choices.
How excited are you to have this debut EP, Oblatio, out right now? How excited are you guys to finally have this out?
Very excited. It is our mission to spread the word of our Lord to the children of knowledge. It is our only purpose. So this is just the first step. There is more coming soon, I assure you.
What led the track In His Name to be the first track released off of this album? What was it about this song that said that has to be the one that comes out swinging for this band?
Well, like the compositions and the lyrics and the music and the riffs, it's not something that I create. It's something that is given to me. It is put into my mind. So just like everything else that we do, we put it into the hands of our Lord. And our Lord wanted us to release that song. It is essentially a ballad, a dark ballad, to our love for him. And I appreciate that you enjoy it. Thank you.
Yes, I truly enjoyed this EP album. Loved it. And I am going to pick this up. It's on Bandcamp, folks. It's just $5. Just pick it up. Trust me. This is very good and you won't be disappointed. Now, are these all brand new songs or songs that did not make a previous album or EP or just laying around in the Coven possibly that you said this has to be on this album to represent us?
No, these are all new songs. This process started back in November of last year. There was some changes in our organization, to say the least, and I've become somewhat of a leader where I wasn't before, and I was given a task, and the task was to use the skills that I possess, which are a musician, a speaker, a person of character, and to bring the message out into the world. So little by little, the songs came to me, they were recorded, and we released them.
Do you feel like you have more creativity now with Snake Healer?
Yes, I feel that we're not really restricted by styles of music. If you listen to Oblatio, you hear that there's elements of doom, there's elements of opera, there's elements of Gregorian chants, there's heavy metal, there's even cheesy 80s harmonizing guitars. because we just love music as a whole. We try not to put ourselves in a box, but we do try to do things a little bit differently than everyone else. We try to stay away from the typewriter style drums. We try to stay away from the Cookie Monster vocals. We try to stay away from these things because we feel that metal has lost its edge completely. It all sounds the same. And every single band has the same distorted guitar sound, same mechanical drums, and all the singers sound the same. They've lost what makes them special. And it's what makes metal special, and heavy metal specifically, is the ability to transport people to a different place, a dark place. And if you're all yelling about the same thing, there's nothing left to explore. So as Snake Healer, we just bring our lessons from our Lord to our fans. And so far, we've gotten a very good reception.
Any tracks that did not make this EP album, we can see on another EP or album down the road from you all, possibly? Was there anything that didn't make this that's going to be on another album or EP down the road, possibly?
No, not at all. Everything that came to me was put onto this recording and released. It is an offering from our Lord. The same process is happening now as we speak. I'm already in the process of recording more music.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on this album? I know these are your babies. I know these are from your Lord, but are there any that stands out for you personally?
I think my personal favorite has to be In His Name. I feel that song put me at the most vulnerable and uncomfortable place. I come from a background where I'm usually screaming my head off in the bands that I play in, where I'm trying to play as loud as possible, and I'm trying to destroy the audience with not only volume and riffs, but attitude. And that song is devoid of all of that. It's just a completely honest, vulnerable ballad to our Lord. And it's something that is incredibly uncomfortable for me. And through that difficult process, I've learned to really appreciate it.
What was so uncomfortable about it? Was it just like, your first time doing like a metal ballad, or was it just something that took you out of your comfort zone?
It is our first time doing a metal ballad. But it's also like when you tell someone that you love them for the first time. It's this vulnerability, your armor is being removed, and there's always this chance that they won't love you back.
Yeah.
It's this very vulnerable, touching moment. And I think it really came through on the song.
Was there a track that you were working on that totally ended up sounding different than it was intended to when it was first brought to the table?
Absolutely. The last track on the EP is called Oblatio, which means offering in Latin. And it has to do with essentially the story of the EP. The EP tells a story, and around the end, there's an offering that's made to our Lord. And that song describes the act of the offering. I won't spoil it. I'll let the fans find out. But that song originally had way less guitars in it. It was originally like a big orchestra the whole way through. And I decided that I wanted to make it a little bit more like doomy, a little bit more metal. So I added a lot more guitars to it and things like that. But originally it had a lot less.
Yeah, I called it Oblatio, but it's Oblatio.
It's okay. It's Latin, so it's strange. But yes, Oblatio, it means offering. I thought that it was an appropriate title for the EP.
It's a great song. When people start to list this, man, it's a great song. I like those riffs of the guitar and just how it comes in, man. It's just, I've said over and over and over, if a song don't catch your attention and grab you, then what's the point? And this one does it. This one fucking does it, dude.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm of the same state of mind. If something is just redundant, there's really no point in wasting my energy on it.
Yeah, exactly. Did the pandemic help? And I hate that we all had to go through this. I wish it was freaking over with. But did the pandemic help the band to take more time to have more creativity on this EP?
I would say yes. During the pandemic, I lost my job. I had no money. I was sleeping in my car.
Oh, wow.
I was struggling through life. And the serpent Lord really helped me through that. Really showed me that every single obstacle that is put in front of me is meant to be destroyed. It is a blessing. I learned to not pray for forgiveness and not pray for riches, but to pray for challenges, so that every single battle that I win, I become stronger. Every single scar that heals, I wear it with pride. So yes, the pandemic did help and was very instrumental into the creation of this. Absolutely.
Was this EP recorded in-house or was it actually recorded at a studio possibly?
This was all recorded in-house.
Do you like having that control to do it in-house versus a recording studio, or would you eventually like to do it in a recording studio?
I would like to eventually do it in a recording studio. I think this was more of a necessity, but the freedom is nice. And all the instruments that were on the recording, I played all of them. I sang all the vocals. I made all the arrangements. Yes. So it was something that was brought onto me, and I was forced to allow it to spill forth from me. And not having to explain how something goes to someone or to a producer, and just being able to just hit record and do it was incredibly freeing. Not having to convince another band member that this is how the riff should go, or this is how the song should be. You know, this isn't something that comes from me. This is something that comes from our Lord. And if anyone questions it, that they're not welcome to be a part of it. So it was very freeing and amazing. And I look forward to doing it again.
What's the growth musically you've seen from yourself working on this album, say, versus another album? What have you seen musically from yourself that's grown possibly?
Well, I think that the vocals are something that has, even if you listen to the EP from track 1 to 7, they get kind of more interesting as they go, I think.
Yeah.
And I get a little bit more challenging, a little bit more comfortable with that. I typically don't perform in that manner. I'm usually yelling. In the other bands that I've played in, it's like, you know, progressive sludge metal and all this kind of stuff. And we're usually screaming about, you know, Star Lords and Minotaur mazes and all these types of things. So it was interesting to try that. And just the adding in of the choir, which was very, very interesting to me. It's something that came to me. It was almost like a dream. I was like, why would I be the only one yelling the glory of my Lord? It should be a choir, just like when the angels sing about God. I should have a choir behind me. Serpentis Dominus, you know, Gloria Domino Nostro Serpentis. All these things are really amazing. And during the live performances, I see that the audience really gets into it as well, even though they don't know what the lyrics are. They're like try to sing along. It's charming.
At least they're giving effort, man. At least they're digging it. That's for
yes. It's been a very amazing experience. We played our first show May 14th at Las Rosas in Miami, and it was great. It was we opened the show because one of the other bands had to cancel, and I was invited to play. We were not ready to play. The people that were going to help with the live performance, they weren't ready. We all rehearsed maybe twice. So it was a gamble, but I had my faith in the right place, and it paid off.
Who did the artwork for this amazing EP?
Oh, there's an amazing artist. He goes by Poison Dust on Instagram. Shout out to Poison Dust. Amazing guy. I've actually worked with him 3 times. So we have more art coming out in the future by him. He's amazing.
What's your thoughts on taking this out on the road? I know there's going to be members adding. I know it's just you right now, but what about touring? What are you looking for down the road possibly with this? I'm
definitely interested in touring. Right now, we have a group of people that are available for performing live. They live in different parts of Florida and in Georgia. So we're all over the place. The way that we have the show set up, it can be performed by a duo. It can be performed by a trio. It can be performed by essentially whoever's available. Yeah. This is more of a coven. It's a group effort. For example, the show that we have on July 9th in Pompano Beach, we're probably going to have maybe 7 people on stage, 7 monks. Yes. And that would be amazing if we can do that every single time, but I doubt that. It's kind of like, do you know the band Green Jelly? Yes. So for example, he goes to different towns, and whichever one of people that are available, they jump in and they perform with him. He doesn't have like a set people. I found that to be very inspiring, and it's very punk rock and DIY, and I'm very inspired by that movement. Doing everything yourself and not allowing people to restrict you. It's very freeing.
What do you hope everyone takes away while listening to this debut EP from Snake Healer?
Well, I hope that they get inspired to embrace the challenges before them. I hope that they enjoy the hard work put into the music. I hope that they find something new that they can get into. You know, I think finding new music is such a beautiful experience. I love finding about new bands, and I love sharing it with my friends. And I hope that this is something that will happen for our music, that people will enjoy it so much that they would love to get all their friends to be a part of the Coven as well. You know, we speak about the children of knowledge, and the children of knowledge are essentially all of us. They're you, they're me, anyone that has ever sought knowledge, anyone that has ever gone to YouTube to learn how to build something or whatever. That is the whisper of the Serpent Lord saying, look it up. You can do it. Find out. That curiosity is what makes us human. It's what helped us create cities and technologies, and we're all connected in that way. So I hope that the music helps awaken that part of themselves.
Now, I know you've had a lot of music growing up, and still to this day, we both have. But do you still have a go-to album, or maybe a song that you find yourself going back to and listening to from time to time that you just cannot say no to it?
Absolutely. I'm a really big fan of Mastodon.
Oh,
and I really enjoy, I like listening to the entire Blood Mountain album from front to back a lot. I think it's really great. It's really crazy. I feel that they were still very sludgy during that process, but they were still kind of getting very proggy, and it wasn't overly proggy. I think that was a really good like middle ground for them. I really enjoyed Blood Mountain.
The speaker, how can folks stay in touch with Snake Healer, buy this debut EP, Oblatio, and tour dates, all this good stuff? How can we do that, sir?
Well, I would say the best way to get in contact with us and keep up with all of our rituals is at our Instagram, which is at snake.healer.coven. We also use that handle on our Facebook, on our TikTok. We also have a YouTube channel. But if you go to our Instagram, on our profile, we have a link tree that has links to everything. It has links to our Bandcamp. It has links to everything. So that's like our main hub right now.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Oh, I would love to. That sounds wonderful. Thank you. This is the speaker of Snake Healer Coven, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link and our YouTube link. And don't forget to subscribe to that YouTube link, because I need the subscribers, folks. I need the views. Come on. I subscribe to everything that you guys have, so help me out. Why not? Also, check out Snake Healer. Pick up their debut EP entitled Oblatio. I'm telling you, folks, this is a great fucking EP. Great fucking EP. From track 1 to track 7, this is fucking amazing. And also, folks, I'm affiliated with Metal Incorporated, Forum Obscura, and Diary of the Madman, the ultimate Aussie podcast. Get out and check out Dan and Josh. Great guys. Listen to this podcast. You won't be disappointed as well. So, folks, thank you all so much. And the speaker, thank you, and keep up the good work with Snake Healer.
Blessings from the void.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.